Good evening and thank you for tuning in to Canal Algérie's nightly news. To the headlines. A visit by an Algerian Chinese delegation to inquire about the advancement of the development work of Garage Bilet mine. Strong foreign presence representing 30 countries in the Algiers International Fair, and we go into details about the new partnership perspectives between Algerian and foreign companies. Ahead of the summer season, where fires break out mostly, a new campaign to raise awareness is implemented. Case in point, Tiet Province. A year after the Melilla migrant tragedy, many human rights associations demand justice and for the Spanish, Moroccan, and European authorities to shoulder their responsibilities. Welcome again. We begin tonight's edition from Tindouf province, where a delegation composed of executives from the Ministry of Energy and Mines, of the public group Menjem Aljazair Manal, and Chinese consortium CMH inspected on Saturday the progress of the advancement of the development project for the Garage Bilet mine. Adel Bukhamis, Rafiq Hamidash.
During this visit, the delegation inquired about the extraction process of raw iron at this mine site, which covers an area of 115,000 hectares, of which only 500 hectares are currently being used to open the mine. Today we visited the Garage Bilet mine with our Chinese partner to see how work is progressing here. The raw material extracted from this mine will be used to supply the plant that will be built in the province of Bishar, with the same partner, to produce initially 500,000 tons of semi-finished products using almost 1 million tons of raw iron. We're here today to find out how the work is progressing and what infrastructures has been built so far. We're working with the National Iron and Steel Company, Firal, to prepare and develop the Garage Bilet mine. Once the railway line linking the mine to the plant is completed, production at the complex should reach up to 10 million tons, using a total of 20 million tons of raw material. Knowing that the raw material from Garage Bilet West is currently transported to Bishar plant by lorries, while waiting the completion of the rail link between the two sites in July 2026.
The economic reforms undertaken by the government have contributed to improving the business climate and to the signing of several agreements between public and foreign companies. The company Sofer is the perfect partnership example between Sonatrach and Orascom. Wasila Boucharab's report taken up by Sabrine Tafirginit.
Sofer joint venture specialized in petrochemicals and nitrogen products is an excellent illustration of a successful Algerian partnership between Sonatrach and international investor Orascom. This fair, inaugurated by the President of the Republic Abdelmajid Tebboune, accompanied by ambassadors and ministers, embodies the interest given to investment. Indeed, Algeria is today a fertile ground for investment in all fields. In 2022, this ammonia and urea complex has achieved export revenues of around $1.2 billion, with exports valued at 7 million tons of industrial fertilizers and semi-finished products recorded in the previous year, including 3 million tons of urea, 2 million tons of treated phosphate and 2 million tons of ammonia, in addition to a large number of fertilizers used in agriculture. This complex is now considered as the largest of its kind in North Africa.
بما أن الجزائر هي دولة إفريقية ومحورية نحن نشتغل على
Algeria's geographical position is a real asset. We're trying to work with a number of African countries, and we've already signed an agreement with Kenya to export 838,000 tons of goods to that country, as well as to other African countries such as Zambia and Mauritania.
وكنا من قبل قد قمنا بتصدير إلى موريتانيا.
There's been a real change in the investment environment in Algeria, and particularly the revision of the investment laws. The economic and financial reform plan launched by the government is beginning to show the wanted results. The new business climate will encourage foreign economic operators to invest in Algeria.
The Algerian Petroleum Institute hosts in the province of Skikda the first edition of the Forum for Directors of Trading Institutions in the field of oil and gas of member states of the African petroleum producers countries. This forum aims to strengthen partnership and cooperation between institutions, particularly in terms of trading and skills development. More details with Rania Al-Bahri.
Reducing dependence on hydrocarbons is the objective of the African governments through the adoption of unified policy aimed at exchanging experiences, assembling efforts and paying full attention to the human elements, which has today become a priority.
وإحنا كمعهد يعني كان لنا يعني شرف احتضان هذا اللقاء.
Our institute is honored to host this meeting. We have competent executives and quality infrastructure and training sessions. We are trying to see how we can set up a single training program and have a single certificate that allows us to use it among all the African countries. The forum, organized at the Algerian Petroleum Institute in Skikda province, brings together the directors of training institutions in the field of oil and gas representing 15 member countries of this organization. The objective is to highlight many important points, in particular the unification of professional skills and training references.
We've seen it with Algeria. We have come here. We've gone to Bamedis. We've come here. We're seeing what you have on the ground so that other countries can send their people for training, technology, research, etc.
The training of the human elements is one of our priorities on the challenge that our countries have taken up in order to achieve economic and social development. This forum is a step towards the implementation of a unified training system, bringing together all member countries with the aim of promoting joint initiative in the field of training and the oil and gas industry.
The Algiers International Fair continues at the Exhibition Center. The Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic is taking part in this edition and is among the most visited stands of the fair, attracting visitors with their handcrafts recalling the Sahrawi culture and heritage. As part of the preparations for the summer season, which is marked with the high possibility of fires breakouts, a campaign to raise awareness began. The local authorities and civil defense are ready to implement an emergency plan in case of fire. Sabrina Tafrigini will give us the details.
The installation of surveillance positions, in addition to water points and the opening of forest tracks, are part of the measures taken to deal with forest fires in the summer across the country, as is the case here in Tiaret. My role is to alarm the concerned authorities if a fire breaks out. I'm here from June 1st to November 1st. There are two new towers, the one we are currently at in Ferinda and another one in the municipality of Tagdemt, in addition to the other monitoring ones. Concerning the anti-fire trenches, we have a program of 80 hectares. The work is 100% completed. We are also going to open 50 kilometers of tracks. To ensure a better response to fires, the Civil Defense has mobilized its mobile column and its teams are ready to intervene in all emergencies. And thorough preventive measures are also being put in place to deal with fires this summer. This border region, known for its large forests, representing 62% of its total surface area, has put in place an emergency plan to deal with fires. The forestry services and civil protection are working to prevent and stop any fires that may break out. The mobile column is ready to carry out any emergency intervention. All these measures are aiming to protect our forests. Public awareness campaigns have been launched. As most fires are caused by human activity, the forestry and civil protection services are ready to counter any potential fires. Algerian television contributed to this awareness campaign by organizing an open day. During this day, several forestry and civil protection officials took turns on television to raise public awareness of the importance of preserving the country's forest resources.
In international developments, the new constitution in Mali was adopted by 97% of the voters who took part in the referendum on last Sunday, with a total participation rate of 39.40%, according to the provisional results announced on Friday by the Independent Election Management Authority in Mali. A year after the Nador Milila migrant tragedy that shook the world, many human rights and advocacy for migrants organizations recall this crime, where at least 37 migrants were brutally killed by Moroccan police after around 2,000 individuals tried to cross the borders into Spain. At least 76 are still missing. These organizations demand Spanish, Moroccan, and European authorities to admit and shoulder their responsibilities. Rania Al-Bahri has more.
1 year after the massacre of Melilla, the non-governmental organization Amnesty International denounces the continuation by the Makhzen regime in Spain of the conceal of the facts linked to the tragedy of asylum seekers and migrants brutally killed at the border between Morocco and the Spanish enclave. The NGO recalls that at least 37 people died after around 2,000 migrants from sub-Saharan Africa who tried to cross the border into Spain on June 24, 2022. At least 76 are still missing, leaving dozens of grieving families. According to the NGO, the Makhzen regime has made no attempt to repatriate the remains of the victims. At least 22 bodies are still in the morgue in Morocco. The organization further claims that the Spanish and Moroccan authorities have not provided a complete list of the names of the victims and the causes of their death, nor CCTV images. The NGO reveals that the authorities of the two countries have not seriously investigated acts committed on June 24, 2022, and which constitute crimes under international law and human rights violations, and haven't either surveyed on racism and discrimination at the border.
The end of tonight's bulletin. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.